Hey guys, it's been highly requested that I do a tutorial for my sans mask. So today I'm going to be making a papyrus version of the mask. It's all made from black Worbla. Sorry I had to voice over the video. When I recorded this, the audio didn't come out, so if my voice doesn't match up, that's why. So you'll need some black Worbla, a heat gun, and this clay cast that I made. So I just took some air dried clay and sculpted it out to look how I wanted. Left it overnight to dry, and that's what that is. So you'll want to cut your Worbla to the right shape for the bottom jaw piece. I always cut it a little bit bigger than you need just in case you go over the edge or something. And then you always fold the edges over anyways, so it won't really matter in the end. So now I'm just heating up the Worbla until it gets nice and soft, and I'm going to press it down on over the mold. Make sure to get around the edges so that you know where the piece will end and where you have to fold it over when you're done. The clay that I used for this, the Worbla did not stick to it, which I was initially pretty worried about. But I'll put a link in the description below to what kind of clay it was. It's just really cheap air dry clay that I got at Joann's. So then you just want to cut around, leave a little bit of room to fold over, though. Cut all the way around the jaw, and then you're just gonna keep heating it up and folding it over and bending it into shape until you're happy with it. So now we're starting on the upper part of the mask. Again, just cutting another piece of Worbla that's slightly bigger than what you think you need, and heating it up until it gets nice and soft. Then you're going to press it down into the cast. Again, you got to be really careful with the nose area that it doesn't rip. And you want to make sure that you keep pressing down around the face so that it doesn't start coming up on the sides and it'll stay down. You can start poking out the eyes and the nose if you want, but I usually find it's easier to do it with scissors afterwards. Again, it's just a lot of heating up and fine-tuning things, which is pretty much what this whole thing was. It's just testing it out and seeing how different things looked and making sure that things didn't wrinkle weird or look really silly. It'll take a little while to finally get it to look kind of how you want. It'll always look a little weird without paint on it. I know I didn't like this mask or Science's mask until I started doing shading, so just be aware of that. It'll look a lot different in the end. Alright, so now we're going to start painting. The first thing that I do, which is kind of a little weird, is I use eyeshadow to start putting down shade where I want it to be. I find this a little bit easier because I can just wash it off if I do it wrong, and it's a lot lighter and easier to shade than paint. The white that I use for the mask is just Krylon Matte White, And then after you do all the shading with the eyeshadow, you're going to want to go in with a matte setting spray, just to make sure that when you put paint over top that you don't wipe it all off. The brushes that I use are not the makeup brushes that I use on my face. Also, the mask is clean and the brushes are all clean, so there's really no problem with contamination or anything like that. Alright, now that I've sprayed it with the matte finishing spray, just be aware that it does make the colors a little bit darker. Not a lot, but just always go a little lighter than you think you need with that. Now we're going to start using the acrylic paint to just deepen the shadows and kind of make the mask look a little better, and the eye socket's a lot darker. So the only colors that I'm going to be using here is just black and red, and it's all just dry brushing. So now that everything is done, I just attached one string to the top of the mask, which will go around the back of your head, and the bottom one, which will go over your ears. So the bottom piece can rest on your jaw, and it'll move when you open your mouth, which is what makes it look cool. And here's a little clip of the mask in motion. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Thank you all for watching, and good luck with all your future costumes.